maybe if I poke it, it'll pour out. Oh, nice. Lovely. So I just got home from work, and I've been greeted by a ceiling tile on the floor in the garage and a bunch of water on the floor. So I think I know what this video is going to be about. A few days ago, Michelle noticed that this one ceiling tile over here is starting to bow, and there was a little drip of water. I thought we could wait, but apparently not. This is not what I had in mind to kick off the summer, but if I leave it any longer, it's going to get a whole lot worse. Before we get into it though, if you're new here, my name's Kevin, and my wife Michelle and I moved across the ocean to beautiful Vancouver Island, where we spent our life savings on our dream home. It definitely requires a ton of work, but we plan to tackle every single detail with the hopes to one day retire in the perfect home for us. Back to the video though. All right, it's quite mushy, but maybe if I poke it, it'll pour out. Oh, nice, lovely. Quite a bit of water in there. But we should probably get the whole tile down. So maybe I can just rip it out. I'll just try to fold it in on itself. There we go. So there's no actual puddle up here, so I'm not sure how the water got into that specific tile. While I'm at it, I should probably pull the Miata out of its long-term storage because there's cardboard under it, and that's all soaked now as well. So I keep finding more puddles. There's another one above this ceiling tile, so I'm gonna move that one out of the way, cut a hole in the vapor barrier, and let it drip. Well, hello there. You're probably wondering what all this wood is doing in here and what happened to the last scene. Essentially, I lost a bunch of footage and it's gone. So now I'm here from the future to explain what happened. I removed a bunch of the ceiling tile, opened up the vapor barrier, pulled out a bunch of wet insulation, and narrowed it down to exactly where the leak is. So now I know where to look when the deck is apart, which is this. But I still have a lot of work ahead of me, at least my past self. So let's go back there and dismantle the deck. See you later. And here we have it, our rotting out, falling apart deck. But look at the potential. So it may look like a really nice space, but to be honest, these mats here are covering up a world of problems with these deck boards. The boards were definitely never properly maintained, so they've all been soaked with water, have a huge amount of warpage, and they've pulled out all of the screws here. Everything is loose and falling apart. This deck board, I can probably just rip it up right now. Yeah. This is not so good. I know that the leak is somewhere in this general area based on where it's located in the garage. So first thing to do, I'm gonna remove all of this stuff, put it on that side of the deck, then I can unscrew these mats and give you a better representation of how bad this deck actually is. And now for the heavy one. Whoa! You probably have to be here in person to see how bad this really is, but I'll try to show you. So as you can see, it's in rough shape and was probably one of the many reasons that a lot of people kind of stayed away from this house when it was on the market. But we can fix everything and then we'll just be left with a nice house and a view like this every day. I would say yes, please, for me. Okay, so maybe everything is going to be a little bit more challenging when it's all rotted out, rusted, and old, but it's just a matter of time. Oh man, I just tried to unscrew that one and pushed in, and it just went in instead. I had to reevaluate my plan a little bit here, so I got this tool, and I'm going to have to pull them up from the underside like this. A little bit more of a pain, but we'll get through it. This honestly works pretty good. I think we'll be done in no time. Well, it may have taken a little bit longer than I was anticipating. All of the screws are out now, so we'll come back in the morning and pick up all the deck boards, and then we'll really see what we have to work with here. I think we have a problem. So the issue that we've ran into is that all of these boards are screwed in underneath our railing. So I guess they put the railing in after the deck boards. So this twisting method seems to be working out pretty good. That works. Welcome to the spa. Oh, much nicer if this doesn't blow away. But it would be nice to have this around for a bit more. It's hot out here. Oh, it might be a little bit too windy though. Okay, everything is cleared off the deck and we're ready to get these boards off. This time around, I'm gonna use a saw to cut off all the ends here because I do not want to deal with all of the end pieces trying to get ripped out and almost cracking the glass multiple times. And we can find all these holes that are punctured everywhere and fix it before the rain comes. Now all those boards are cut free and loose. So all I can do is just go through all the screws here, and then I'll just rip everything else out with a hammer and get these boards out of here. all the boards are out. Unfortunately though, I think that is probably going to be the easiest part because I want to remove all of the screws out of these boards so that I can use them for future projects, and I think that's going to take forever. So I'll get into that, finish those up, throw them off the balcony probably so I can use them down there, clean all of this up, and then it'll probably be the nighttime, and it's supposed to rain tonight a lot, so I guess we'll see what it looks like in the morning. Okay, so the deck is all cleared off now, and we're down to the torch-on roofing material itself. It turns out that the leak was unfortunately from some screws. My dad came to visit, and he wanted to help make the deck a little bit better by screwing down some of the boards that were very loose. And I guess the screws were a little bit too long because they punctured the roof itself. Luckily, it's pretty simple because they're just a couple of screw holes. So I have some of this, gonna shoot it on in there. And then I have some roofing membrane. So I'm just gonna cut a patch of it off here and then torch it down, and should be good for now at least. If I decide that this is not the best solution, then I'll come back to it later on next season. But I think it should work, so let's make it happen. Ow! And apparently you're supposed to feather out the edges like that. hot. Ow! It feels very malleable, so hopefully it's forming to all the crevices. But I mean, it's a double patch anyway, so you'd think it would be good. I don't see how this could ever leak. No, it's definitely melted into it now, so I think that's all right. Okay, well, that's one patch. Do the others. It kind of smells like a demolition derby, to be honest. But I guess that makes sense. Oh, is this gonna run out of propane now? Good thing I have another bottle. Wow, it's really coming down. So the rain has arrived, but luckily we were able to get our patches down just in time, and they do seem to be working because it is bone dry downstairs. Unfortunately, we've uncovered another pretty big issue with the deck here, and that's it's not sloped correctly towards the drains here. There's about a ½ inch puddle across the entire deck here, and the drain holes are higher than it all. So I think we're gonna reslope this entire deck, which is a massive project. But right now we're saving for a new roof, so that'll have to wait. But for now, at least the water's not getting into the garage, and this seems to be sustainable for the time being. Regarding the patches, I wasn't 100% confident in the first application that I did, so I did come back later that evening and torch them down heavily and roll it in. So now it's properly fused to the upper surface. So they're definitely not going to leak anymore. So I hope that you've enjoyed the video. I hope that maybe you've learned some things along the way, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.